Rodney Beretta, chairman of the FWC, has been in the news lately for his plans to develop submerged lands in the Lake Worth Lagoon. I don't think there is anyone out there that will disagree that this is clearly a conflict of interest. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 more government employees with equally disturbing conflict of interest. All 5 are involved with a powerful chemical lobby group. It's called Florida Aquatic Plant Management Society. This is their website, and as you can see, their mission is to preserve Florida's aquatic heritage. That's pretty vague. They get a little more specific in their objective though, and that is to assist, and when I say assist, I mean lobby, research scientists, legislatures, that's right, legislatures, planners, and state and federal government agencies. Now that's being specific. It goes on and states they want to make available to the media accurate information for education of the public. Let me paraphrase that for you. They are the ones who are brainwashing us into thinking that poisons in our lake is a good thing. Let's move on and see who the officers are in this society. We're going to skip the presidents for now. We'll come back to them later. The secretary is Stephanie Walters. She is from Nutrien Ag Solutions. On their website, they brag that they are the nation's most highly networked herbicide distributor. I love the picture of the little girl dangling her feet in the pond. I wonder if it got sprayed. The treasurer is Jennifer Myers, from none other than Applied Aquatics. That company needs no introduction. They are the #1 subcontractor to the FWC, and their spray boats have starred in most of my spray videos. The editor is Amy Giannotti, and she is from Aquastem Consulting, LLC. They are a professional waterfront consulting services for luxury real estate property owners. See all these beautiful purple flowers? They are water hyacinths, and every time I see them in bloom, there is always honeybees around. So if you see any of these beautiful flowers, call Aquastem so they can come out and spray and kill them for you. Here's where it gets interesting. The 3rd-year directors include Samantha Young. She is a research and outreach manager for the FWC's invasive plant management section. How is it possible that our very own government employee is serving on a chemical lobby group? People, I'm only getting started. The next 3rd-year director is Todd Olson, and he is from the Aquatic Vegetation Control. This is another chemical spray company that sprays the south part of Lake Okeechobee and all of the STAs in the Everglades. The last 3rd-year director is James Bogg Jr. He is from Helena Agra Enterprises, LLC. They make seed treatments. That's where they coat the seeds with insecticides, primarily neonicotinoids. These are chemicals that are absorbed by the plant and basically make the plants toxic to all insects, even pollinators. These chemicals are wiping out honeybees all over the United States. Most other countries have banned these insecticides, but the U.S. refuses to do so. Let's take a look at the 2nd-year directors. The first one is Nancy Healey, and she works at Brewer International. Do you want to guess what they do? They make surfactants. That's the chemicals that the spray boats mix with the herbicides so they stick to the plants. Problem is, we have no idea what's in these surfactants because they are not required to disclose what chemicals they are made out of. Our next 2nd-year director is Telly Smith, and he is also from Applied Aquatic Management. Our last 2nd-year director is Natalie Visher, and she is another FWC biologist, and she is in charge of the Harris Chain of lakes. So if you live in the Harris Chain, you know that she is blasting them with chemicals. This is just another conflict of interest. The 1st-year director includes Jason Call. He is from the Lee County Hyacinth Control. That is a local government agency for management of nuisance aquatic vegetation in waterways of Lee County, including the Caloosahatchee River and its tributaries as far upstream as Lake Okeechobee. So for all my West Coast friends, this is the guy whose poisons are feeding your red tide. The next first-year director is probably the most disturbing one yet. He is Jason Farrell. He is the director of the University of Florida's IFAS Center for Aquatic and Invasive Plants. This is the organization that the FWC relies on for all the science regarding aquatic plants. Jason is just a puppet for the chemical cartel because IFAS gets a large chunk of their budget from these chemical companies. To have Florida's most influential scientists sitting on the board of the most powerful chemical lobby group in Florida is the biggest conflict of interest and should not be tolerated by the people in this state. The last first-year director is Alexandra Nsonko. She is a wetland biologist that works for the South Florida Water Management District. She is a fourth taxpayer-paid employee on this chemical lobbying group. Let's move down and look at a couple of the committees. On the awards, we have Scott Glasscock from Disney Pest Management. You know Disney has lots of ponds on their properties, and they all get sprayed with herbicides which end up in the Kissimmee chain of lakes. The next guy I want to show you is Matt Phillips. He is also from the FWC. In fact, he is the highest ranking FWC employee on this board. Matt has been with the FWC for decades and has been on this board for a very long time. Matt is actually the one that has accelerated the FWC's chemical destruction by involving private application contractors. Many of these sit on this board. Now let's take a look at the presidents. The current one is Jeremy Slade, and he is from UPL-NA. That stands for United Phosphorus Limited, North America. It is the 9th largest agrochemical company in the world. Let's go to this website and see what they make. Aquastrike, that's diquat and indithol mixed together. Aquathol K and Aquathol Super K. All three of these chemicals are used by the FWC on our lakes and make up a majority of the poisons that the FWC uses. I guess that's why he is president. He is making the most money off of the FWC. Let's take a look at the president-elect. That's Stephen Montgomery. He is from Allstate Resource Management. So let's take a look at what that company does. They claim they are South Florida lake management experts. They're the guys with the little boats that I have showed you in the past. They spray lakes all around our homes. First they spray herbicides to kill the emergent plants like cattails and spikerush, but that causes algal blooms on the lake. So they have to come back and spray algicides to kill the algae blooms that they created. Some scientists call this a pesticide treadmill. Next we have the past president. That's Scott Jackson. He is from Syngenta. They make Tribune, which is diquat. Next to indithol, diquat is the most used chemical by the FWC. The most shocking thing is Syngenta is owned by ChemChina. That's the largest agrochemical company in the world, and it is owned by the Communist government of China. These chemicals are made in laboratories located in Wuhan, China. In case you've been living under a rock for the last year and haven't heard, Wuhan has been quite busy making all of our lives miserable lately. In August of 2020, the United States Department of Defense published the names of companies operating directly or indirectly in the United States with ties to the People's Liberation Army. ChemChina was included on that list. In November 2020, Donald Trump issued an executive order prohibiting any American company or individual from owning shares in companies that the United States Department of Defense has listed as having links to the People's Liberation Army, which included ChemChina. So let's put this all together. The FWC is buying chemicals and then dumping them in our lakes from a company that the United States Department of Defense has deemed so dangerous to national security that the President of the United States had to make it illegal for any U.S. citizen to own a single share of its stock. I wonder what the Department of Defense knows that we don't know. People, it's impossible to make this stuff up. So now that you have met the most powerful chemical lobbying group in Florida and met a few people that your tax dollars pay their salaries, you can go ahead now and vomit. Florida has over 70 full-time paid chemical lobbyists that roam the halls of our state capitol and influence our legislatures. The C in FWC is supposed to stand for conservation. Instead, it stands for conflict of interest. It is time for the people of Florida to stand up and demand that our politicians stop poisoning us with our own tax dollars.